So based on your kind of experience of working with some of the clients that you do and working in this area, how are you finding people are effectively reaching out and engaging those diverse communities? I guess particularly in this current climate where we are maybe working remotely, we've got this combination of people in office and those who are virtual. So how do you engage people?
Yeah, so I think the businesses that are managing to do the best with the situation as it is, but also in general, are the businesses who've recognised a way in which, an infrastructure, if you like, that they can build employee networks within. And that looks differently in different businesses. So it may be that you have a smaller business and therefore you don't have the population to support a number of different networks for different diversity streams. So for example, it might be an LGBTQ plus network, it might be a gender network, it might be a disability or a faith network. For those of you who don't have that much experience with networks, what I mean, sometimes they're referred to as employee resource groups, and what I mean are almost small enterprises within your business that you can put together, where you have members who will take on different responsibilities, and they will be responsible for certain pieces of consultation in the business, managing and running events, reaching out to different employees in terms of the different things that are happening in times of change, so particularly times like now. And they can really give you some sort of insight. I think it's important that for the organisations that do have networks, that you make sure that they are set up in a sustainable way, particularly at the moment, that they are being consulted with, even if there's relatively little to say at the moment. When it comes to engaging with either through your networks or to start up networks, or whether it's just that you want to reach out to people, I think it's really important for you to consider what's your relationship with the comms outfit in your business. What is the comms strategy? What are the seasonal trends that you find in terms of how people engage with different communications in the business? Because again, a lot of businesses, as I'm sure you've all seen and been frustrated with at times, have difficult email cultures at times. You know, do people read the emails? Is it just another email coming out at the same time as another email? So what are the spaces that you can create, particularly now if you're starting to kind of review your online platforms, your sort of intranet spaces or whatever it might be? What does that section look like? What's the call to action? How are you making that stand out to people? And I guess it's what's in it for them. You know, so again, it's outlining that case of here's what we want to do, here's why we want to do it. It's not cloak and dagger, it's not about us just ticking boxes, it's about creating a truly authentic space. And I think if you can do that as well, it's really important to try and find ways that you can demonstrate what I would call true senior leadership sponsorship. So again, it's not just about a statement from senior leaders, it's also, wherever you can, case studies. Perhaps it's someone who's close to them rather than them themselves, if that's not the case, that they have a diverse characteristic. But I think it's also important for us to think that inclusion doesn't necessarily just encapsulate protected characteristics under the Equality Act. It's also about things that may be protected characteristics in the future. You know, and I'm sure some people have seen that there was some case law last year that developed around veganism, for example. But it's also things that may never be legally classed as protected characteristics, but it's part of who we are and part of bringing ourselves to work. So where you can use senior leaders to demonstrate perhaps where they've had some battles at work and they've had things that they've had to overcome and they've been supported, then it's great to get them involved and great to demonstrate their buy-in and their real understanding of it in context, rather than just